I'm winging this. I can voice over 10 minutes and 13 seconds without a script. Here we go. Hi there, friends. It's your favorite neighborhood nerd, Simone, with a snippets from my road trip video where I filmed along while my husband, our dog Max, and I were traveling down Highway 1 on our way to Monterey. My husband was participating in the Monterey Bay Marathon. Monterey Marathon? Big Sur Marathon? I think it was the Big Sur Marathon. And he asked me if I wanted to come. And so I took the chance, packed the dog, the husband, and the van, and then we drove all the way over the mountains to our first stop was Half Moon Bay, where we spent the night in the van, and then the next morning we went to this tiny bakery where they had the most amazing lattes, but also their food was just so good. We drove down Highway 1 to Santa Cruz, and it was independent bookstore day that Saturday, and so we made it a point, or I made it a point, that we visited the Santa Cruz bookshop, which is actually one of my favorite bookstores that I have encountered while I was living in the Bay Area. I purchased a book, Sunrise on the Reaping. There it was my first paper book in a long time. We got sandwiches at Zoccoli's, our favorite deli in the United States that we have tried so far. And yeah, Santa Cruz has been a spot that we loved going to while we were living in the Bay Area, so it was one of the major attractions for us to go there. And just walking Cliff Drive was the best. We took the van to a parking space at this road and just spent a little while reading our newly purchased books, watching the water. It was raining. It wasn't the best type of weather, but it was still good enough to be there. And then we went on our merry way, made our way to Monterey, where we were going to spend the night because that's where the buses left to drive the runners to the starting point somewhere down Highway 1 in Big Sur. And we wanted to be close to the stop because they leave sometime around 3, somewhere around there. So we drove through Monterey to Pacific Grove, which is another cute town along the Monterey Bay. And it also has a fabulous bookstore, but I didn't know if you could bring pets in there. And here you can see we had to hold Max, who is quite reactive to anything that he doesn't know. Yes, we are in training. Because there was this deer on this park area between the road and Pacific Grove and the cliff, and I wondered how this deer would go away. But the next day when we came back, we didn't see it again. And yes, now you need to really look very closely because you can actually see some sea otters there. This was the first time that I had seen sea otters in the ocean instead of in the Monterey Bay Aquarium since I moved to the United States. One of the things that I've always wanted to see was all of those animals out there. Oh yeah, I'm still struggling with the camera. Don't worry about that. I think I'm gonna figure it out one day. But I just wanted to show you how beautiful this area is, all of those teeny tiny snippets that you can see here. This is still the day before the run, and the weather got really bad overnight. So when Max and I went to go coffee the next day, we got drenched. It was so wet. It was cold. We got coffee. I got some pastries, and then we went again. We drove to Pacific Grove because it's just so much prettier than Monterey. Monterey, in my opinion, the only really cool thing is that Cannery Row, but there's no way to actually park your van and sit at the cliff like I was able to do where I am parked right now. And this was the very first time while my husband was running, Max was sleeping, that I got to unpack my little rickshaw bonsai bag. It is tiny, but I have found that packing it with just the essential things, and you can see what I have in here. It's not nothing, but it's also not too much. Has actually been helping me being able to take my stuff with me and not just bring the unopened bag back home with me. But this is less intimidating. I brought so much stuff that I didn't know what to do. So I never unpacked it. Here, I only brought my ephemera, TN, my journal, a pouch, my pens, scissors, glue, and a clip, and that's it. And that helps me to be creative in my journal if I want to. I found these beautiful pieces at the beach. Aren't these just fabulous? I brought them home with me because I just couldn't let them stay there. At first, when I picked this one up, I thought it was a dead fish. But then I saw that it was, oh man, it was just so pretty. And so I pulled it out of my pocket and displayed it there. And then I just spent maybe an hour or less. It was enough to feel like I did something great. I pulled up my phone, my YouTube, and watched some YouTube videos. Max was sleeping, and I decided I would just sort through all of the ephemera that I had accumulated again. I don't know what it is, but I seem to be fighting the same fights over and over again. And so I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I decided, you know what? How about I am just going to sort it all? Because I always start to sort it out or sort it and put it all away into this awesome ephemera binder that I still want to show you one day. And so I decided, you know what? Today I have enough time to just finish that, put it all away, and feel great. And then Max woke up. People started to walk. That was early in the morning, like 8:30 to 9:30, and then the walkway along the beach here. Which is weird to say that this is a beach. There's rocks and water, and it's steep, kind of like a cliff, basically. Got busier. Max saw so many dogs, he started barking at every single one of them, and so I decided, you know what, we need to get out here and walk off a little bit of energy. If you look closely, you will see the seals down there, and I think every single seal, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought each one of them had a baby next to it. You need to look at it. And then we drove home. And yes, of course, when it rains in the Bay Area, it snows in the mountains. So we stopped by IKEA on the way home, bought some new things that we needed. And Luckily, we did not have to put on chains, but there was still snow along the road. And what a weekend! It was just so good. I had such a great time. And I felt so refreshed. And I hope some of those pictures got you into the mood. If you can, get out, even if it's just for a morning or an afternoon or a day. Go on some adventures in the area that you live and soak it all in. Thank you so, so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Until next time, bye.